Final Hazard, Part 2. The rain deposited the four of them in a mostly gray room with dim lighting. While Sonic retrieved the warp ring, Celestia lit up her horn to provide a little extra light. In front of her, she could see that this room split into two directions. She turned to Sonic a second later and asked, "Where are we?" Sonic replied, "We're back inside the Ark, near the research area. I remember passing through a little bit of this section when I was up here with Shadow." Sonic's eyes moved in Dash's direction as he heard the Pegasus groan. He walked over to a nearby wall and gently set her down, kneeling in front of her. Dash raised a hoof to her forehead as she moaned, "I have a headache." Sonic sniggered and said, "Well, after a crash like that, I could believe it." He stood up and backed up a few steps as Rainbow climbed to her hoofs, still using one hoof to rub her forehead. She lowered it a second later and looked around. "Hey, where did that thing go? And where are we for that matter?" she asked. Sonic shrugged. "We're on the inside of the Ark. I figured it'd be a good idea to fall back and come up with a plan." Rainbow protested, "But I had a plan." Sonic nodded. "I know, but you didn't really share it with us. I mean, you didn't abandon us or anything, but you kind of took off to do your own thing, Rainbow." Rainbow replied, "I knew what I was doing. One Sonic Rainbow and that thing sliced apart would have been toast." She looked away and she muttered, "Everything should have worked out. Pulled it off easy at the wedding. Why didn't I do it this time?" Sonic held her hand to his chin, running it back and forth as he thought what to say. After a moment, he looked over his shoulder and saw Celestia and Luna talking. Judging by their body language, Sonic assumed they were also talking about what just happened. He nodded to himself, then put his right thumb and his index finger in his mouth and whistled loudly. Immediately, everyone stiffened up and looked at him. The sound was making the noise seem even louder. Sonic made a T-shape with his hands and said, "Time out!" Celestia asked, "Time out? What?" Sonic explained, "I think it would do everyone in the room some good and clear up some of the tension in the air as we switch things up a bit." Luna cocked her head. "Switch things up?" Sonic nodded. "Yeah." He walked over to Celestia and suggested for her to lower her head. The princess complied, and Sonic started whispering in her ear. Celestia looked down once he was done talking and asked, "Are you sure that's wise, Sonic?" Sonic replied, "I don't know. But I do know I'm probably not the one who should be talking to Rainbow about her Sonic Rainbow. And I'm sure you talked to Luna plenty of times in the past. It might be the good idea to let her talk with someone else." Celestia looked down a moment before saying, "Well, Twilight did manage to help her greatly during her first nightmare night, when she wanted to be accepted by the ponies of Ponyville. Perhaps it wouldn't hurt." Sonic nodded. He then looked at Luna. The Luna princess looked down a bit worriedly, asking, "Sonic?" Sonic held up a hand and said, "Luna, let's take a walk." He then turned and started walking towards the left path, stopping briefly to look over his shoulder. Luna looked at Celestia when he did, the Solar Princess nodding in response. Luna nodded back and tried towards Sonic. The headstock waiting until she was alongside him before starting walking again. Luna lit up her horn to provide extra light and stay near the corner. After they passed out of sight, Princess Celestia turned to Rainbow Dash and walked over to her. The giant Pegasus began to get nervous at the sight of the princess towering over her, began to tremble and curl up slightly. "Princess, she started. Celestia held up a hoof to silence her, Rainbow immediately closing her mouth at the gesture. The princess then said, "It's all right, Rainbow Dash. Sonic holds nothing against you for trying to help, and Luna and I don't either. However, it's clear that stopping the creature will not be easy. So let's talk about your Sonic Rainbow and what we can do to make sure it'll work for next time."
Meanwhile, back with Sonic and Luna.
Sonic and Luna stood at the top of the ramp, looking over at the various powered-down computer screens, looking at one of the Ark's old gun tracks. "My, this Ark is certainly an impressive construct," Luna noted in an attempt to make conversation. "Yeah, sure is. But it was even more impressive when the researchers lived here and it was up and running," Sonic said as he started to walk down the ramp. Luna followed him down, taking great care with each step she took. "It appears to be in rather good condition. Why has it not been resurrected yet?" Luna asked. Sonic replied, "It's been hidden away from the world for the last 50 years due to the accident that occurred here. I think it's been left alone since the Black Arm invasion as part of the United Federation's Monster Shadow's creator, Professor Gerald." Looking around, Luna asked, "So Shadow was born here?" Sonic nodded. "Yeah, in a way. but I didn't want to walk with you to give you a history lesson. I mean, I'm sure you've had enough of those as it is. Luna let down as he murmured, Yes, 1,000 years spent in isolation in the moon. I am still getting used to all the things that have changed since I was sealed in the very thing I am responsible for. Sai glanced back at her as he asked, Responsible? You mean you're in charge of the moon itself? Luna nodded, Yes. I use my magic to raise the moon every night. My sister uses her magic to do the same with the sun. During my punishment, she raised the moon as well. Sai replied, That's cool, I guess. Being able to do both at once, I mean. But it sounds like it wasn't easy being the princess of the night. Luna said, It's not. It never has been. Ponies look upon my night now as something wonderful, and they even study it. This was not the case 1,000 years ago. She sighed. No pony really appreciated me or the hard work I put into making my night sky beautiful. Sai stopped to look back at her sympathetically. The little princess coming to a stop as he said, That's rough, Luna. Is that why? Luna nodded. Yes. That's why I grew resentful, Celestia tried to bring down nighttime eternal. She sat down on her haunches and murmured, 1,000 years later, I broke free and tried to make the night eternal once more, only to be freed from my dark power by Twilight Sparkle and her friends. Celestia was happy to welcome me back, but the rest of Equestria... She lowered her head as she closed her eyes, not caring that the tears were beginning to gather. I spent time in the castle learning about this age, learning everything I thought I needed to know. And when I stepped out beyond Canterlot, all I learned just made ponies fear me more. As if that night didn't give them another reason to. She looked at Sonic and glared down. I have never once touched the foal's backside for any malicious reason, Nightmare Moon or not. So I don't like a creature that would eat foes. Is this the kind of thing ponies have become so quick to assume in this day and age? Sonic, with his arms crossed, replied, Are you so quick to believe the first judgment based on idle things you've heard in initial presence? Sadly, yes. I should know, there are a lot of people in my world that are like that. Liz glare receded, and the princess looked at Sonic in silence as he spoke. As someone who's fought to keep everyone in the world safe and keep the world from being ruled by a megalomaniac, I know what you mean. People didn't always welcome me with open arms. When my friends and I first showed up, we got a pretty negative response, too. Some people were afraid of us, some reacted with hostility, and I'm pretty sure some people said things about us. We kept going, of course, but I still know it could be disheartening to see people react the way instead of looking past the surface. Luna looked down with sad eyes. So Sonic, I had no idea, she murmured. Sonic shrugged. It's all in the past. And when they saw what Dr. Eggman was like and what he was planning to do, they physically changed their minds about us. Same with Shadow, once it was finally revealed what Professor Gerald really wanted. Luna asked, Shadow, but he's so powerful or not? She trailed off at one point. She didn't need to continue, because Sonic caught on to the source of her distress. Luna, are you afraid of your own power? He asked. Luna hesitantly nodded. I am, Sonic said. But you used it against the Changelings. You used it to save Pipsqueak. Luna replied, My sister was the one who mostly used her magic in that battle. I attempted other means, but when I saw Pipsqueak in danger, my emotions got the better of me. Although it was completely different, it still reminded me of how I became Nightmare Moon in the first place. Sonic asked, You mean? Luna explained, I was not thinking properly when I saw ponies frolicking in my sister's sun and hiding away from my night. In my anger, I came across a new way to get them to notice me, through power. And when I lost myself to it, I became Nightmare Moon. She said, I can raise the moon with hardly any effort. I can try to rule Equestria alongside Celestia, but I am afraid of falling prey to that desire again. Sonic asked, Luna, you tried to reconnect with ponies of Equestria, right? Luna nodded, yes. There's an annual celebration called Nightmare Night. It is a festival involving fun activities and harmless scares, all started by the legend of Nightmare Moon. I went to Ponyville on that night to spend time with the common ponies, and changed what I thought was a dark celebration into a bright one. I had no idea that's what it was all along. Sonic said, Your sister mentioned that Twilight helped you that night. Luna replied, Twilight Sparkle was the only pony who did not fear me when she arrived. She did everything she could to help me, even with my temper got the best of me. She so strong against my anger to help me again. Sonic asks, so she helped you get accepted by the ponies in Ponyville? Luna nodded. Sonic then said, so that's why you'll help your sister rule, but not use your power. He smiled. Well, this is the perfect chance to work on that. Luna looked down in surprise. What? Sonic explained. You're in my universe now, Luna. There's nothing here that could cause you emotional baggage. What better place to work on getting your power under control than a place where there's almost nothing to upset you? Learning to control your power while experiencing strong emotions might be a bit much of a start with, but learning to control it in the first place is a better place to start. You can start by learning to keep it under control and help stop that prototype at the same time. Luna stammered, but I didn't know if I can. I might lose control. Something could happen that isn't supposed to. I don't want that to happen. Sonic smiled. Look, Luna. If there's one thing standing up to a megalomaniac can stop me, it's that no matter what, you should never give up. It always seems like an easy way to avoid things you'd rather not remember. There's always hope, no matter how little. As long as there's hope, you have to keep going. Because giving up won't help anybody in the end. I'm sure Twilight learned that lesson too, when that Discord dude was loose. Luna's eyes shifted down on the ground as she considered his words. Sonic went on. I know it's not easy, and I probably sound like a self-help book, but it doesn't seem easier if you got something to believe in. Luna, you're not alone. You got your sister, Twilight, your friends, me, and Tails to help you. Luna continued looking at the ground. Her eyes began to water again. Come on, Luna. You say you want to help your sister rule, make the night beautiful, be accepted by the ponies of Equestria. Do you really just want to give up on all that and retreat into a shell, hiding away from the world? Luna's eyes closed shut as she shuddered. Sonic's words resonated strongly within her. A moment later, she threw herself at the blue hedgehog, exclaiming, No! She surprised the blue hedgehog by wrapping her fur legs around him in an embrace, tears once again falling from her eyes, but for a different reason. Sonic remained silent as Luna let out how he felt, placing a hand on the back of her neck and running it back and forth. The Lunar princess sniffled. I don't want to give up. Not so easily. I would try to be strong. Like Celestia, like Twilight, and like you. Sonic let her cling to him for a moment before gently pushing her back onto her haunches, a hand still on her side. Dry those tears, Luna. They're not for you, so save them for someone who needs them, he said. Luna raised the hoof to her face and wiped the tears away, and gave Sonic a smile. Okay. Sonic smiled back at her. A second later, they heard Celestia say, Sonic, Luna? They both went to see the Sun Princess and Rainbow Dash at the top of the ramp. Sonic waved, Yeah, we're here. Celestia and Rainbow walked down the ramp at that, coming over to the square-shaped platform the two were standing on. Sonic and Rainbow asked, You two okay? Luna nodded, Yes, Rainbow Dash. We have talked to come to a consensus, so to speak. She looked up at her sister and asked, And you? Celestia nodded. Rainbow and I have talked as well, and we think we have an idea how to make sure her Sonic Rainbow works next time. Sonic grinned. Cool. Now let's see if we can come up with a plan to deal with that prototype. Soon, outside the Ark. The Bio-Lizard roared to herself in confusion as it looked around. Where were the ones that attacked it earlier? And why did it feel the urge to destroy them when it saw them? Why did it feel like something was off about this situation? Like there was something it was supposed to be doing? What was going on for that matter? All these crystals swirled in the creature's head, but he didn't stay for long, his animal-like mind unable to focus on them. Suddenly, there was a bright flash at the edge of his vision. As he turned to look, two beams, one yellow and the other cobalt blue, struck in the eyes, irritating them. The creature shook its head and roared, unleashing 3 lasers from its mouth at the source of the beams. Luna and Celestia flew to the side, dodging the lasers as they flew full speed at the Bio-Lizard. Luna flew up along its right side and fired a bolt of electricity at its head, catching the creature's attention even though it absorbed the energy. As he flew away from a volley of pink spears, he screamed, Come on, you moronic beast! What art thou the end result of? Some twisted fusion of a lizard, laser, and infestible? The Bio-Lizard flinched as it felt something strike near one of its 5 support cables. It turned to its left to see Celestia flapping her wings to remain stationary. A horn still surrounded by her magic aura. It roared angrily at her. Celestia yelled, Is that all you had to say, you stupid lizard thing? and responded by firing a lizard from its mouth. Celestia used her magic to teleport it away, reappearing above the bio-lizard's neck. As she got her bearings, Luna flew up to her and asked, "Stupid lizard thing, sister." Celestia sheepishly replied, "Hey, I'm new to this." Both their heads turned at another roar, the bio-lizard twisting its neck around to try to get a good look at him. The two sisters separated, flying around it and doing what they could to keep its attention on them. While the two princesses distracted the bio-lizard, Sonic and Rainbow Dash were moving along below the creature, Sonic leading Rainbow down an old path to the Eclipse Canyon that she had skipped over last time. Sonic ran in front of Rainbow Dash, the Rainbow Pegasus flying behind him, staying on its tailwind to build up speed. She was picking up speed pretty quickly by staying behind Sonic, but she would occasionally get out from behind him, especially when they had to alter gravity so Sonic could continue. She didn't want to perform her Sonic Rainbow too early after all. As they adjusted the gravity once more, they looked where it was enough distance for Dash to build up the remaining speed herself, and strike the bio-lizard while performing the Sonic Rainbow. Sonic called back, "Alright, Rainbow, it's go time!" Rainbow nodded, and after a second, broke off while Sonic continued along the path, once again heading for the Eclipse Canyon. As he flew, Rainbow Dash checked herself, letting Sonic take the lead had given her greater speed, greater than she had before. She flew up along the bio-lizard's right side, the blur catching the creature's attention briefly before a beam from Celestia distracted it. Once he was at the appropriate height, she pulled a fast 180-degree turn and flew for the life support system. As he started, she could feel the artificial air rushing past her, nearly invisible aura already forming around her front hose. And just as the gap was beginning to close, it happened. The Pegasus shot forward like a rocket, a rainbow ring spraying out from that point, and a rainbow trail following her. She flew straight towards the bio-lizard, slamming into its life support system and causing the creature to roar in pain as she pressed her host down against it before ricocheting off. While it was distracted, Celestia flew up at least an arrow beam at the life support system, damaging it more. As it thrashed around in pain and anger, the bio-lizard saw Sonic running towards it. Reacting swiftly, it opened its mouth to fire a laser at the walkway he was running on, destroying the path in front of the hedgehog. Sonic managed to slide to a stop, but the rest of the path soon fell apart, the remaining pieces on both sides breaking off and falling, unfortunately taking Sonic with them. While he was falling, Sonic looked around, trying to find something to land on or jump off. Suddenly, he felt something come up right under him, catching him. Facing forward, he realized it was Princess Luna. She looked back at him and asked, "Art thou okay, Sonic?" The blue hedgehog held his right thumb up, saying, "I'm fine, Luna. I'm just not fond of surprises like that." Luna nodded. Then she faced forward and said, "Hold on tight. I'm gonna get you up there." Sonic placed his hands on her neck and said, "I'm ready when you are, Luna." Nodding, the Luna Princess adjusted herself, holding her forelegs in front of her, pointing her back legs down, tucking her head slightly down before flying away. Rather than take the direct approach, Luna decided to keep the bio-lizard guessing and circle around to attack. This path, still part of the path Sonic had taken before, consisted of zero-gravity debris from the Ark's plummet to Earth and floating barriers. This didn't concern Sonic or Luna very much, though. If Luna couldn't fly around it, she could move the debris temporarily or short-circuit the barriers to deliver magic. They didn't have to worry about the Ark's automated defenses because they were all shut down. After a few minutes of flying, they were right underneath the bio-lizard. Luna flew towards its left side, then up, getting above its life support system. As they hovered there, the bio-lizard unaware, Sonic said, "You may do the honors, Princess." At that, Luna reared her head back and brought it forward, releasing a cobalt blue beam from her horn at the machine. The creature roared as the beam struck, sparks flying out the machine. Once he was done, Luna buckled forward, sending Sonic flying towards the creature, yelling, "Send this beast from here, Sonic!" Sonic grinned as he flew towards the life support machine, curling up in a ball as he got close. As he struck true, pushing against the machine for several seconds before an eruption and exploded from it. Sonic was pushed up by the explosion, but managed to grab on one of the life support cables when he came back down. Looking back, he saw that the life support was in critical condition. One more good attack would take it out for good. Before he could communicate this to the others, however, the bio-lizard let out a loud roar, and all of a sudden, it felt like the pull of gravity increased dramatically. Sonic suddenly looked at his grip and began to fall. Many of the platforms surrounding the Ark began to fall as well. As he fell, Sonic noticed that Rainbow Dash and the princesses were dragged down as well, though it also seemed as though the gravity was starting to return to normal. This was proven true as Rainbow, Celestia, and Luna were soon able to use their wings to stop their descent. Sonic, meanwhile, was able to land on one of the falling platforms, which was now being pulled down normally. Rainbow flew down to Sonic, followed by the princesses, and asked, Sonic, what's going on? Sonic replied, that thing's got to be messing with the gravity around it. I think it did the same thing to Shadow when he was fighting it. Luna said, we must stop it before there's nothing left for you to stand on. Rainbow asked, but how, princess? If it's still doing that gravity thing, we can't even get close to it. Celestia said, my magic and Luna's magic should be unaffected by the gravity field. If you and Sonic can get close, Rainbow dashed, we should be able to distract it and get it to stop. Sonic nodded. Sounds like a plan, princess. Let's do it! Rainbow said, yeah! He turned to Sonic and asked, you want me to carry you up there? Sonic grinned, no need. He looked up and pointed, prompting Rainbow and the two princesses to look up. Above them, more platforms and pieces of the ark were falling. Sonic said, you go on ahead, Dash. I'll use that stuff to fall and keep up. Rainbow grinned, alright, let's go! She then shot straight up towards the bio-lizard. Sonic nodding at the princesses, both of them nodding back. Then dashed to the edge of the platform, leaping to another platform, and then to another and following Rainbow to Dash. Celestia and Luna nodded at each other. Celestia used her magic to teleport both of them, reappearing near the bio-lizard. Looking down, they saw that Sonic and Rainbow Dash were quickly making progress. Sonic surprisingly, to them at least, easily keeping up with Rainbow. When he wasn't even running straight up a platform, the blue hedgehog came to a stop on the last platform. Looking up as Rainbow was unable to fly up further, the bio-lizard looked down at him, keeping them in its sights. It was time. Together, Celestia and Luna channeled their magic into their horns, each giving off a brief flash before releasing their magic beams. The yellow and cobalt beams twisted around each other as they flew, both striking down the bio-lizard's support system at the same time. The creature roared in pain, the gravity around it returning to normal as it looked around. Sonic and Rainbow dashed on to each other, Sonic leaping up towards the silent Pegasus. She held out her left forehoof as he grabbed it with his right hand. Rainbow immediately flew up towards the bio-lizard, carrying Sonic along. Once they were just above it, Rainbow stopped flapping her wings, and Sonic started some spinning. After a second, they both curled into balls, one blue and the other cyan and rainbow-colored. While spinning, they whipped around the bio-lizard, going behind it, dipped back towards its front. Instead of aiming for its front, however, they aimed for the light support system, both striking at the same time. Their attack completely destroyed the life support machine, the bio-lizard letting out one final roar as it was engulfed by the resulting explosion. Both Sonic and Rainbow managed to bounce away from this life support system after hitting it, resulting in the explosion sending them both flying. Celestia and Luna saw them and flew up to help them, Celestia catching Sonic while on her back, while Luna grained Rainbow Dazzler her forelegs. Shaking his head after landing on the Sun Princess' back, he looked at her and said, Whoa, thanks for the save, Celestia. Celestia smiled at him. It was no problem at all, Sonic. Behind him, Rainbow looked up at the Princess of the Night and chuckled, thanks, Princess Luna. Luna looked down at her, but as she looked up, she noticed some kind of green light shining down from part of the ark. Celestia noticed her expression and asked, Luna, what's wrong? Her sister replied, Look over there. What is that light? She nodded her head in its direction. Rainbow, Celestia, and Sonic doing the same thing. Yeah, where's it coming from? Let's take a closer look, Celestia said, starting to fly towards it. Rainbow would have flew herself, but decided that shaking free of her princess' hold wasn't a smart idea. So she remained quiet while Luna followed her sister. When the two princesses reached the light, everybody looked up at it. It looked like it was leading somewhere. The princesses flew up. After about a minute, they found themselves in a large green room with many flickering lights. Where is this? Celestia wondered as she and Luna landed on one of the platforms in the room. Luna saying Rainbow Dash down beforehand. Sonic slid off Celestia's back and looked around. I think we found the Ark's computer room, he said after a moment.
Vector? No! Oh!
Rainbow soon pointed at the lone computer terminal on the platform, saying, Princesses, Sonic, look! They all looked where she was pointing. There, sitting on the panel of the computer underneath the screen, was the blue Chaos Emerald and Pinky's Elemental Laughter Necklace. Sonic grinned. Sweet. He was about to run over to the computer, but Celestia stopped him with her left wing and said, Allow us. Both her and Luna's horns lit up, a yellow aura surrounding the Element of Laughter, a cobalt aura surrounding the blue Chaos Emerald. Both of them levitated off the computer a moment later, floating over to Sonic, who grabbed the necklace with his left hand and the emerald with his right. Rainbow smiled. This is great! We found another one of our elements of harmony, and one of your Chaos Emeralds, Sonic. You better tell the others right away. Sonic nodded. Yep, I don't think we need to hang around here any longer. He placed the emerald on top of the necklace, saying, Let me just get the warp ring so we can leave. Rainbow walked over to him and said, Here, I'll get it to you. So he started running her forehead through his quills before he could protest. A second later, he brought the ring out, holding a right hoof. All right, now all he's got to do is toss it, right? She asked. Sonic shifted the Chaos Emerald back to his right hand, saying, just a second. He touched the ring with the emerald, the ring emitting a bright white light for a few seconds. After it faded, Sonic said, that's to keep it going. Okay, go ahead. Rainbow nodded through the ring, causing it to expand a few seconds later. Sonic and Rainbow Dash walked over to it, standing along the sides of it. After you, your highnesses, Rainbow said. Next up, Slee Apple Acres, Sonic said. Celestia and Luna nodded and walked forward, stepping through the ring. Rainbow followed them, and Sonic went in after her.
Thanks again for the lecture on magic, Twilight. I liked it, and I really learned a lot, too,
Tails said. He, Twilight, and Spike were walking down the path to Sweet Apple Acres, having passed through Ponyville to check out how the repairs were going along the way. Yeah, I thought it was pretty enjoyable, too, Spike commented. Twilight glanced back at him with a raised eyebrow. Spike, you weren't even there for it. You spent almost the whole time downstairs in the library. Spike nodded smugly. Yeah, exactly. Twilight shook her head and rolled her eyes before turning to Tails and saying, Anyway, Tails, I thought your lecture on the Chaos Emeralds was really good, too. Do they really get bigger when they end up in this special zone? Fox replied, No, always, but sometimes. Sometimes they even look different. The zone can really mess with your head sometimes, but they always go back to normal when they're brought out of the special zone.
Spike scratched his head. So, how do you get to this so-called zone again?
Tails glanced back and said, Usually through the warp rings, even though it's separate from our world. There's a barrier between our world and the special zone that the warp rings can get past. That's also why we've been able to use the warp ring Sonic found. Time and space are so messed up right now, it's easy to warp from the points in the past back to Ponyville and vice versa. If it's not possible to overcome the barrier, or you can't think of an area you want to, the rings usually don't work.
Twilight exclaimed,
Fascinating, so...
Before she continued, Spike pointed out, Hey, we're just about there. Tails and Twilight looked forward to see Sweet Apple Acres wasn't too far away.
Oh, that didn't take long,
Tails nodded. Twilight nodded in agreement while Spike just rolled his eyes. The three of them soon passed under the arch of the entrance and saw Rarity, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Applejack all standing around the barn. Pinkie having a baby alligator hanging onto her cotton candy mane, and a brown dog sitting next to Applejack. Applejack noticed them and hollered, Hi, over here, y'all! As they started over, Winona suddenly bounced over towards the three of them, causing them to stop. She reared up on her hind legs and started licking Tails' face.
Whoa, who's this?
Tails asked while trying to keep from laughing. I was going to do a joke about how we were going to probably meet the entire cast of Season 2 by this point, but then the fig distracted me with Puppy. Applejack, Rarity, and Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie came over, Applejack saying, That's Winona, our work dog. She looked at Winona and said, Come on, Winona, back off. No need to scare this fellow away. Winona backed off at her words and headed over to Applejack, taking a seat next to her.
Ah, it's so good to see you all again. We were hoping that nothing had happened to you,
Rarity said a moment later. Twilight replied, We're fine, Rarity. She then turned to Applejack and asked, So, did you and Apple Bloom happen to find Granny Smith, Applejack? Nurse replied, Not. Yep. She got worn out from all the excitement that seeing Amy, Cream, and Cheese caused. So, she's taking her nap in that rocking chair. Amy took Cream and Cheese back to Ponyville a little while ago, and they took the Q Marker Slayers with them. She then asked, So, how's y'all do? Did you manage to fix that whatever needs to be fixed?
Tails nodded. Yep. Radars at 100% Applejack.
He pulled the radar from his left tail, holding it up as he said,
As soon as Sonic, Rainbow Dash, Princess Celestia, and Princess Luna get back, we can get back to restarting Ponyville. Pinkie Pie piped up. So much of Ponyville's already been brought back. I can't wait until it's been brought back.
See them point.
Oh, quick! One being brought back.
They all turned and looked and faintly see, in the distance, sparkles rising up from the hill that Tails had said was where the next portal was. A few seconds later, they all heard a pshong and turned to see the warp ring suddenly appear nearby. Princess Celestia and Luna stepped out of it afterwards, startling the ponies. They were all about to drop into a bow till Celestia held up a hoof and said, There's no need for that right now, my little ponies. You've already bowed to us once. Luna nodded. The two sisters stepped aside. Rainbow Dash and Sonic stepping out the ring afterwards. The ring streaking down and landing on Rainbow's hoof when she held it up.
Pinkie cheered, Everybody's back! Rainbow said, "Hey guys, hope we didn't keep you waiting too long."
So he tried it over and gave Tails the warp ring, and Fox taking it was free hand. It then replied,
"No, Twilight, Spike, and I just got here too. I don't know about Rarity, Pinky, Applejack, and Fluttershy, but..."
Rarity spoke up,
"Not to worry, darlings. We haven't been waiting too long."
Winona ran over to Sonic and started licking his face as well. The head stopped growing into the dog's infections.
Tails giggled. "Looks like Winona likes you too, Sonic."
After Winona biked off, Rainbow looked at Tails and said,
"So, did you get your radar working again?" Tails said, "Uh-huh, we're all set."
He powered it up, showing that it was now working properly. He even reached his right tail, pulled out two small and yellow white devices and saying,
"Thanks to Twilight, I was also able to make us a pair of radios with those power cores I picked up, just in case we get separated."
Twilight chuckled nervously at that. Tails then put the radios away and asked,
"So, how did you guys and the princesses do?"
Rainbow moved to his side, Sonic grinning as he held it with his head. "Check it out." Piggy gasped, a regular guess.
"It's my necklace! You found it! We should find it!"
Sonic slid the chaos emerald into his quills and replied, "Oh, we just happened to find it. After we beat a huge experimental lizard that tried to cast a space colony last time we saw it." Spike and the ponies, aside from Rainbow Dash and the princesses, all looked surprised at that. But Tails just smiled.
"Really? Never guessed that the prototype was going to be brought back."
Sonic nodded. "Yeah, I was surprised too." He held his left hand, allowing Twilight to take the element of laughter with her magic. After slipping into her saddlebag with the rest of the necklaces, the Lavender Unicorn said, "Well, we're glad it's all right, everybody. Right, everybody?" Spike, Tails, and the other ponies all voiced their agreement. Before anyone else could say anything, the ground suddenly started to shake. Everyone looked up a second later to see the mysterious creature in the sky appear above, flying out of a vortex.
"It's back!"
Twilight replied. Taking up a defensive position along with Rainbow Dash and Applejack, Sonic said, "Watch out!" Everybody else took a defensive position, especially Fluttershy, in case the creature came any closer. Once the creature, Tails realized his radar was pointing at it. Noticed the unusual leanings he was recording. The creature didn't seem to be after them, however. It just simply flew over Sweet Apple Acres before flying in the direction of Ponyville. It soon reached the town, scaring all the ponies below, but it didn't seem interested in them either. Before long, it crashed into something, shaking its head as a red wave and a pink wave spread out from whatever it hit. It looked up a moment later and flying into a new vortex, flying through it and disappearing. After a moment, Applejack commented,
"I'll hike when that thing does that."
Celestia asked, "So that's the creature that's responsible for all this?"
Rainbow nodded. "Yeah, that's the thing, all right, Celestia."
She then asked,
"What just happened? What stopped it?"
Tails slid his radar back at his left tail and said,
"I could take a look from here if I had a pair of binoculars or a telescope."
Piggy zoomed to a nearby coop, Gummy still hanging from her mane. There was a hoof inside the opening. As he seemingly rushed through as he called,
"No problem, Tails! I have binocular sets all over Ponyville, in case of binocular emergencies."
As he pulled out a pair of black binoculars, holding him her left hoof. As he zoomed back to her, Tails and said,
"Here you go."
Although surprised, Tails took them, saying,
"Thank you, Pinkie Pie."
She grinned happily at that. Tails then held them up to his eyes, adjusting so he could see through them properly. He then looked where the red and pink waves were originating from, zooming in to get a better look. He soon gasped,
"There's a chaos emerald up there!"
First I asked,
"Is that what drove the monster off?" Tails replied, "Well, that comes from the red wave of energy. I think the pink wave came from the crown that's flying next to it."
Twilight asked, "There's a crown up there?"
Tails looked at her and nodded. "Yeah! Here, take a look."
Twilight took the binoculars and looked herself. Cecil said, "That's my element of magic crown, but why are it and the chaos emerald completely white?" Luna asked, "What do you mean they're completely white?"
Tails answered, "You look like Tail Wood did before that blast of the chaos emeralds brought the colors back. The chaos emerald and the element of magic must have been affected by the creature somehow."
Spike suggested, "Maybe there's a way to get them back to normal, like we've been doing for Ponyville and everyone we know."
Tails looked at him and nodded. "Sounds like a good theory to me. If we can get all the elements of harmony and the chaos emeralds, we should be able to defeat that creature and do all the damage it's done."
Applejack spoke up, "Well, you know what to do then, Tails. Fire up the radar, let's get to work." Tails nodded, and after pulling the radar back out, storing the data they gathered from the creature, started searching for new frequencies. While he was searching, Spike looked over at Sonic, Rainbow Dash, and Princess Luna. Three of them standing near to each other, saying, "Boy, this adventuring thing's pretty rough, huh? Sounds like we still got a ways to go." Sonic replied, Well, it's not much of an adventure if it's short and easy. He glanced over Rainbow Dash and gave him a nod. The two of them looked back at Princess Luna as she hesitantly raised a hoof. Sonic and Rainbow nodded, Sonic raising his left fist and raising her right hoof. The two of them bumped with Luna's hoof.